somebody who is needing help, and you say is criminal to die. Well, that is the law, but we're saying beyond law, there should be the moral face to say, hey, this guy actually needs help. Something must have triggered him to want to kill himself. No man, I say it again, no human being will ever love to die.
A man, Shuaibu Yeshua, attempted to end his life at the Aso Radio in Katampe area of Abuja on Monday, in protest to the current economic realities faced by Nigerians. Shuaibu climbed a 120-meter-long broadcast mast at the premises of the Abuja Broadcasting Service in the early hours of Monday and attempted to take his own life, in protest of what he describes as a general state of hopelessness in Nigeria. The FCT Police Command arrested Shuaibu and sent him to the Social Development Secretariat for mental assessment and evaluation, following his rather troubling action, which caused quite a stir on Monday. If he is found to be mentally stable after the test, Shuaibu will be charged to court for attempted suicide, disturbance of public peace, and incitement, contrary to sections 231, 111, and 114 of the Penal Code Act. According to a 2019 study conducted by the University of Lagos, suicide attempts are a pressing issue in Nigeria. The study, led by Dr. Titilayo Tade, director of the Suicide Prevention Initiative, SUPRIN, revealed that 1 in every 100,000 Nigerians has attempted suicide. That is 7,019 people per year. Attempting suicide is a criminal offense in Nigeria. According to Section 327 in the Criminal Code Act, which applies to southern Nigeria, it states that any person who attempts to kill himself is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 1 year. Similarly, Section 231 of the Penal Code, applicable to northern Nigeria, asserts that whoever attempts to commit suicide and does any act towards the commission of such offense shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine, or with both. Many Nigerians have demanded the abolition of the law that criminalizes suicide attempts. Mental health experts say it hinders suicide prevention efforts and obstructs the collection of accurate data. As a result of the full extent of the problem, it is difficult to comprehend, and the development of effective solutions has been challenging. We spoke with Dr. James Komolafe, a Florida-trained behavioral therapist. According to Komolafe, societal pressure plays a significant role as individuals often slide into depression due to economic realities.
Unfortunately, ripe, because many are passing through depths and depths of the bad and the ugly situation. The economy not helping matters. These are the days people wake up and the gap between aspiration and materialization keeps widening by the day. And when you have a society where the bad and the ugly, the aberrant, seems to predominate, people want to do vices in order to just get by. And so, what do we say? When people are unhappy for a period of 2 weeks, before you know it, they slant into depression. From depression, addictive behavior, just to while away the time, and they tell you, oh, doctor, I was just not myself and I felt like bouncing back. So they rob Peter to pay Paul and do so many obscene things that they're not supposed to do. And before you know it, the world inside becomes blocked. The world outside is not attractive. So they begin to look for the world beyond, especially when they have become helpless, hopeless, and worthless. They just feel Why am I wasting time? I've become a burden to everybody. Nobody likes me. Let me just end it and rest, and everybody will rest.
Dr. Komolafe also disagrees with Section 327 of the Criminal Code Act that criminalizes attempted suicide. He says instead, it is crucial to identify the underlying problems faced by individuals with suicidal thoughts and provide them with the necessary support and solutions.
Something leads him or her there. So incrimination, adjudication is not the solution. It is intervention, not even motivation or education. To say, why will you need to die? You don't need to die. Things can always change. That is motivation. But intervention, and in intervention, you do 4 things by the order of idea method. I identify what the root cause is. D, define the status of the individual on that track. E, evaluate what is the current position and why trending that road. And A, administer therapy based on those observables. So to say, okay, let's make it a criminal offense does not deter it. Rather, it will worsen it, because the man going on there to kill himself does not see anything good anywhere. So you see, their mindset is completely outside of this world. So to say it will deter others is not a solution, because the one who wants to die wants to die. So no matter what you are saying here, is none of his concern.
He also encourages families, communities, and friends to be sensitive in their interaction with their friends, as many suicidal cases can be stopped if close attention is paid to details while interacting.
You look at the signs and the symptoms, not just for suicide, but for depression, for stress, for addiction, and some other variables, because they belong to the same psychotic field. In fact, we call them first cousins. When you notice an individual is beginning to withdraw, isolate himself, what does he say frequently that is different from his normal self? How does he carry himself now? What are his utterances? I'm tired. I feel like resting it. I feel like calling it quit. And generally, you see, it begins step by step. At first, they will talk about something public, general. We'll see Nigeria. I've tried Japan. And then they start mentioning their frustration. From there, they bottled it in and take things personal. I'm even tired. I feel like play. Don't ever dare think, oh, it's just a humor and a play. Lend a helping hand. Go close to such an individual. Find out his frustrations. Show care. Where you show care, and then you can get a bit of what he or she is passing through, then speak up and out at the right quarter, where we can take a diagnosis, maybe by telephone call or whatever, and then walk that person away from that idea. So very vital. Be your neighbor's keeper, and then hear what he or she is saying that is different from his or her normal self.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has outlined a series of measures aimed at preventing suicide. To begin, governments should take the lead in establishing policies. This includes decriminalizing attempted suicide, allowing individuals to seek care instead of facing legal consequences. The Lagos State government has already taken a step in this direction through its 2011 criminal law, which provides for hospitalization orders in cases of attempted suicide. Additionally, governments need to develop and implement preventive interventions that are culturally appropriate and based on evidence. This requires a clear vision with specific targets and a defined time frame. To this effect, the lawmaker representing Ogeli North Federal Constituency of Delta State, Francis Wave, proposed an amendment to Section 327 of the Criminal Code in March 2024. The lawmaker proposed 6 months of community service for suicide attempt victims and compulsory counseling. The bill was passed for second reading after the debate on the general principles of the bill. At least over 300 Nigerians have died in a reported suicide case from 2019 to 2024. It is evident that the subject of suicide in Nigeria raises complex questions about mental health, societal pressure, and the effectiveness of punitive measures. As discussions continue, it is crucial to explore comprehensive approaches that prioritize support, counseling, and awareness, aiming to prevent these tragedies and foster a society that values the well-being of its citizens.